By direction of the President, authorized by Act of Congress, March 3, 1863, the Medal of Honor for conspicuous gallantry and intrepidity at the risk of life above and beyond the call of duty is awarded in the name of Congress to Sergeant First Class Randall D. Shughart, United States Army. Sergeant First Class Randall D. Shughart, United States Army, distinguished himself by actions above and beyond the call of duty on 3 October 1993 while serving as a sniper team member, United States Army Special Operations Command with Task Force Ranger in Mogadishu, Somalia. Sergeant First Class Shughart provided precision sniper fires from the lead helicopter during an assault on a building and at 2 helicopter crash sites, while subjected to intense automatic weapons and rocket-propelled grenade fires. While providing critical suppressive fires at the second crash site, Sergeant First Class Shughart and his team leader learned that ground forces were not immediately available to secure the site. Sergeant First Class Shughart and his team leader unhesitatingly volunteered to be inserted to protect the 4 critically wounded personnel, despite being aware of the growing number of enemy personnel closing in on the site. After the third request to be inserted, Sergeant First Class Shughart and his team leader received permission to perform this volunteer mission. When debris and enemy ground fires at the site caused them to abort the first attempt, Sergeant First Class Shughart and his team leader were inserted 100 meters south of the crash site. Equipped with only his sniper rifle and a pistol, Sergeant First Class Shughart and his team leader, while under intense small arms fire from the enemy, fought their way through a dense maze of shanties and shacks to reach the critically injured crew members. Sergeant First Class Shughart pulled the pilot and the other crew members from the aircraft, establishing a perimeter which placed him and his fellow sniper in the most vulnerable position. Sergeant First Class Shughart used his long-range rifle and sidearm to kill an undetermined number of attackers while traveling the perimeter, protecting the downed crew. Sergeant First Class Shughart continued his protective fire until he depleted his ammunition and was fatally wounded. His actions saved the pilot's life. Sergeant First Class Shughart's extraordinary heroism and devotion to duty were in keeping with the highest standards of military service and reflect great credit on him, his unit, and the United States Army.
My tribute to 2 of the bravest individuals I have ever heard of. Welcome to another installment of Connecticut Gun Bench. Today's video is brought to you by P.A.N. Firearms, LLC. P.A.N. Firearms for NRA certification and multifaceted gun training. You can reach us at 203-300-6343 or use our website at www.panfirearmsllc.com. As always, there'll be a link in the description box below. And let's talk about this. I'm going to do something a little different this time around. Somebody should dedicate this video to him, but it was asking about a specific firearm that I had. And the inspiration of the firearm that I'm about to show you and talk about came from the actions of 2 Delta snipers depicted in the movie BlackHawkDown. As we know, Gordon and Randy Shughart. As we know, Randy Shughart used an M14, and in my top 10 favorite guns, the M series, the M1A, is one of my top 10 favorite guns. So I've always been a big fan of that rifle to start with. Then I saw this movie and, very inspired to try to recreate what I had seen. Now, I did not go for the actual rifle that he used. I did mine's more a creation of the movie itself. So I'm going to show you that. I'm going to grab it here. Oops. So this is my recreation. As you can see, the people who did the Cerakote for me actually are out of business, which is unfortunate. They did a couple of jobs for me. But as you can see, this is an M1A standard with a national match barrel. Now, because I live in Connecticut, I can't have a flash hider. We have, they seem to think that telling people what they can and cannot do is somehow the answer to violent crime, but it is what it is. And I'm going to go over a couple of the parts that I used. Once again, I did not go for the actual recreation of the actual firearm that he used. I actually recreated it based on the movie. If you look at this and then take a look at the one they set up for the movie, you can see the resemblance. Now, I used a Springfield Gen 4 steel mount here for a scope mount. I'm using an Arms 17 quick release and on a comp M68. And this is an Aimpoint Comp 3C. It's the night vision model. It's a 4 MOA. I got an M3 rubber cover. Once again, I wanted a functioning rifle, so I decided to go in this direction. And I've got, I don't know if I can really show you, but I also have a glare filter. If you can see it, it's right there. I put a glare filter in here, for obvious reasons. And that was my setup. And I use the Arm 17 because when I do longer distance shooting, I wanted to be able to switch the scope out quickly. And I'm going to put this down for a second. I'm going to grab this. And I use this for my longer range shooting. This is a Leupold Mark IV. It's a 3.5 to 10 by 40. And this is the LRT model, so it's illuminated reticle. And I have EGW rings, Evolution Gun Works. These are their aluminum rings. You can find that. I'm going to put all this information in the description box for you to find out. I don't want to mention pricing and money because YouTube is just bizarre. And I just don't want them to like censor the video because they've done that to me before. So all the descriptions and pricing and everything you need to find is going to be in the description box. I also have on top here, this is a Trigicon RMR. As a, just a little addition when I was using this scope to be able to have a no power scope available for it. Usually I have it set on an angle where I would rotate the rifle and shoot that way. But right now it's set on top. So that's what I use for long distance shooting. Now, there's a lot of, if you're trying to build the original, you have to use a lot of USGI parts, obviously. And the scope mount would be a Brookfield Precision Tool mount that you would have to find. And then you have to find an Aimpoint 5000 because there's general consensus that's the scope that he actually used in the 1990s. It was one of the more popular ones among the Special Forces guys. Problem is, the 5000, anyone who has one knows what they have and what it's worth. And I've seen them out there for like $1,000. The good alternative, or an alternative, is the 9000, I think. The Aimpoint 9000, yeah. That's the alternative that you can use. It's a 9000 SC, which is relatively similar, but they're about half the price, and you can buy them brand new. And if you really want that authentic look, but if you're looking for a 5000, expect to pay for it. Okay, so I'll bring that up here. And as I said, all the links are going to be in below for Evolution Gun Works for all their parts, Arms, Springfield. Obviously, if you go out and buy a Springfield M1A, when I purchased this one, I purchased it black polymer. Makes it easier to go ahead and Cerakote. Okay, and all in all, if I was to throw a general number out there, I probably spent rifle and all, magazines, so forth and so on, probably close to 3,000. Not saying that's exact, but you can be frugal in some points because if you get lucky enough to find a used M1A, that's going to be rare. But you can save a few dollars here and there. But like I said, I wanted to build a rifle that was a tribute to, but I also wanted a functioning rifle that I could take to the range and shoot. And I've got this thing dialed in 100 yards. I didn't get a measurement. Sorry, I cannot give you the MOA. My apologies. I just took it down there to dial the scopes in. They dialed right in. I punched, it must have been, I think I shot 10 rounds and put a nice 100 yards with the aim point. I think I'm going to guess, I'm not 100%, about 1.5 inch spread, which is, could be better. But that's based on just setting it up, taking it up to the range one day, setting up and shooting the scopes that I had. So, as I said, when I saw the actions of these two men, and then I saw that one of them used an M1A, I just feel compelled to make my own replica of that. And like I said, this is Connecticut. I'm in Connecticut, and if you don't know that, Connecticut gun bench. There was a guy, I think he was in Plainfield, who did the Cerakote, but I think he's out of business. So he did a really good job. But any Cerakote business should be able to do it and do it well. Okay, I'm gonna bring it back in one more time. So, yeah. So there's one side there. I'll flip it around for you. And there's the other side. Like I said, I copied the movie camo color more than anything else. You know, I kind of showed him the pictures from the movie, and he copied that. So there it is. And of course, I have a standard butt plate. You could go with the rubber one, but once again, I try to keep it original with the steel. So there it is. But let me know what you think. As always, you can leave your comments in the comment section below. And as always, any statements of violence or statements that lead to violence will be removed. Please like, share, comment, subscribe. Don't forget to hit that notification bell so you're notified the next time the video goes live. I'll see you on the next one. Peace.